This channel is made possible by viewers like you. My viewers, subscribers, and patrons greatly help to keep this channel going. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for all of you. Please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any uploads. And if you'd like to go the extra mile, please check out my Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you'll get access to what I'm working on, previews of upcoming content, and even early videos, along with other tier options for those that are interested. Thank you, and now on to the video. When it comes to shooters, we have so many different ones to check out and play, whether that be one of the latest and greatest from the AAA industry. But at the same time, while they do try to provide the most cutting edge when it comes to graphics, when it gets right down to it, most of us just want some good gameplay. Sometimes we just want something more old-fashioned or just gameplay driven. I like looking at pretty things for sure, but if you can't bring the fun, then why am I even here? Visuals will come and go and look dated in time. Outside of art styles, a nice set of those can stand the test of time. When it boils right down to it, we want gameplay. We want it quickly and we want it good. Meatgrinder is one such game that seems to get it. In many ways, it kind of reminds me of the good old-fashioned arcade machines. Quick to the action and very exciting. Meatgrinder is very fun, a game you probably haven't tried yet, but hopefully after this video, you will. You know how there are some games that come along and they just represent the very definition of what fun is? Meatgrinder is one such game. It's loud, violent, action-packed, and it feels like it was endorsed by Michael Bay. And I mean the last part as a big plus. I love Bay. It's big, explosive, and you have cars blowing up all around you. Plenty of wild and crazy explosions. Enemies jumping from vehicles, kicks that cause them to explode, plenty of guns. You are always on the move, jumping and shooting at pretty much everything you see. This all feeds into the ridiculous charm of this title, and the more I play it, the more I find myself enjoying it even more. So how do you even play Meatgrinder? Well, in this game, you just get into it, and it just keeps going. Your objective is to get to the end of the stage by any means necessary. You need to survive, and between you are a lot of obstacles, vehicles, and plenty of henchmen to try and take out. The entire thing is built off pushing the player to go further. Be faster and stay within the action. You need to keep your heart rate up. Heart rate is up, then you'll slowly regenerate health. If it's down, your health will actually go down too. Again, the systems at play here means that the player needs to stay on the move, attack quickly, and then get back to jumping and dashing. I like this health system. It's all about throwing yourself into the action, and then figuring it out, rather than trying to stay back and assess your options. With Meatgrinder, it's more like, okay, I'm in this mess, how do I survive? Some of the cool stuff here is that you really do not need to kill every henchman you come across. Sometimes it might even be better to pass them and stay in that constant movement flow. That is another thing to point out as well. Movement and traversal is really fun here, and when you start to have a pattern down, it becomes really satisfying to zip and dash throughout the levels. Just as much fun as it is to shoot someone as well. When it comes to your core movement, you have 3 dashes that you can use while in the air, along with a jump and your grappling hook. Between the dashes and the grappling hook, you can pull yourself a pretty long distance. Hopping between vehicles from cars and trains is really exciting. This game kind of feels like the arcade version of Mad Max Road Warrior, or Fury Road. The game is a non-stop action scene, just like all those chase scenes in those movies. Even from some of the enemies, the developer is clearly a fan of Mad Max as well. The game does a good job of sprinkling in some surprises and new toys to play around with. You'll occasionally earn a new gun, and in this title you really don't need to worry about ammo just overheating. You can switch to anything you have unlocked on the fly, and I also like going back to prior levels just to use new toys in earlier stages. The guns have decent sound effects, with impact being the highlight. Everything from your kicks to your shots usually causes an enemy to explode. They can even hit some invisible walls at times, and this is always comical too. It's important to note too that Meatgrinder goes for a more old school retro experience. We aren't looking at a roguelite or anything with modern progression systems here, but rather just quality minute-to-minute gameplay. I noticed that while in the flow state of shooting off my gun, zipping around, I was always engaged and wanted to keep coming back for this. There's little touches like this too, like being able to hit someone with your grapple. All of this stuff is just really awesome. Meatgrinder has a simple objective with its levels: survive, keep your heart rate up, and blast away. Depending on the stage, cool and new threats will come into play. One level has a rock slide to contend with, and this provides a great spectacle along with being able to take out some of your enemies too. Other times you are fighting through construction equipment, and are given tunnels that you can dash through as well. Some of these feel like Michael Bay just took an entire pot of coffee and then was let loose for an action scene, except that you are currently playing through them. Now as it pertains to flaws, I only have a few. There is an odd graphical glitch that will pop up here and there. Nothing bad or anything, just noticeable. And I wasn't a fan of the instant kill part of the sandworm fight. The game always has a lot going on, and you can get easily distracted and be taken out in one hit. It can really feel cheap and hurt the flow of the action. The additional horde-like endurance mode is a great addition, and fits in perfectly here. I do wonder if co-op would work in a future title, even just for an infinite mode. It might be cool to be able to grapple to each other along with other movement options. Either way, the game we have here is really fun. Meatgrinder is a delightfully small game that provides that quick action you may want, or something that is just good to dive into for a long time. It works on both levels as well, just like a good arcade title. You are being hit with what seems like a never-ending set piece, yet the game never gets boring. It helps that variety is thrown at the player, from the locations to even the threats you face. It's also just unabashedly fun, and very enjoyably gaming. It's over the top and absolutely enjoyable. The pacing is lightning fast. The game also doesn't take the time to get good. It just starts good, and then like a quality ride, it keeps the player excited. I love the indie market. There are so many great games that I have played from it, and it's a space that you never really know what you're going to find there. Will it be something like an old title you grew up with, done in a new and fresh way? Maybe you get a fusion of different genres, now creating this completely new one. Maybe there's a bit of combining retro gameplay with modern progression. The options seem endless, and in many cases, so much fun. I'm really happy the developer reached out to me to play their game. This is an absolute blast, and something that I would recommend for any first-person shooting and action fans to check out. I had fun with this one, and I'm still having fun with it too. I recommend Meatgrinder. Have you played Meatgrinder? What are your thoughts on it? What are other indie titles that you really enjoy? Let me know in the comments down below. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please check out my Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you can help to keep this channel going strong, and this allows me to be able to do more for my awesome audience. Please check out the links in the description and pinned comment for ways to support the channel. And most of all, thank you very much for watching.